Hey everybody, it's me, Timmy Flyers Guy, and welcome to the 100th episode of Flyers Corner. Welcome to the 100th episode of Flyers Corner. I'm your host, Timmy Flyers Guy. This is officially the 100th episode of Flyers Corner. I remember when I first started the series back in 2024, and I'm back at it again, here for my 100th episode of Flyers Corner. And for this 100th episode, I wanted to also do a history about goaltender Murray Ferrant. But I also wanted to talk about this Murray Ferrant jersey that I got. But before I do that, I'm going to pay homage to the great Murray Ferrant. And I'm going to go over the history of the goaltender, Murray Ferrant, and how he came about with the Philadelphia Flyers. So I'm going to check Wikipedia right now. So I'm going to check the history of Murray Ferrant. I'm going to read it out to you guys. So I'm going to go into the history of goaltender Murray Ferrant. So here we go, Murray Ferrant. Okay. Bernard Marcel Ferrant, born April 3rd, 1954. Canadian professional, National Hockey League, where he played 13 National Hockey League seasons with the Philadelphia Flyers, Boston Bruins, and Toronto Maple Leafs. Between 1955 and 1979, and also spent one season in the World Hockey Association, WHA, with the Philadelphia Blazers during the 1973 seasons. Murray Ferrant won 2 Stanley Cups with the Philadelphia Flyers in 1974, 1975. He also won the Vezina Trophy and the Conn Smythe Trophy as well. In both seasons, he posted 30 shutouts in regular postseasons. Played combined at 1980. He was also 1984 inductee of the Hockey Hall of Fame. Also ranked number 63 on the Hockey News. Was the top 100 NHL players of all time in 1998. His early years, like I said here. So Murray Ferrant had a pretty damn good season with the Philadelphia Flyers. In 1976, Murray Ferrant suffered an eye injury that took him out of action for the Philadelphia Flyers, honestly. If Murray Ferrant would have had that injury, I honestly think that the Flyers would have won the 3rd straight Stanley Cup that season. That's what I think. Murray Ferrant, what can I say about the guy? The guy loved hockey. The guy loved the sport. He loved fans. He loved the city, and he loved what he did. Murray Ferrant was also a goalie coach for the Flyers in a few seasons also. Murray Ferrant will always be remembered for his smile, his love of the game, and the way he went out there and performed night after night. I remember watching the alumni game in 2012 and just seeing Reinhardt put on one hell of a show for the Philadelphia Flyers faithful at Citizens Bank Park. And here we have the story of how I got this jersey was. It was Christmas of 2013, and this was one of my favorite gifts that I got. Was this Murray Front Philadelphia Flyers jersey, and I used to. This was one of my go-to jerseys when I went to hockey games. I even wore this jersey when I met Murray Front in 2014 when they're having that thing where you could meet all the goalies. And during the time I met at the 2014 Flyers Carnival, I got to take a picture of Ray Brown, Robert Ashe, Ray Emery, and Robert Ashe and Ray Emery. And I just really like this shirt because it symbolizes what Philly is truly about. And Ray Brown was one of the all-time greatest Philadelphia Flyers goalies of all time. He was a leader. He was great. He was a great locker room leader. He was also a mentor to many young goaltenders for the Philadelphia Flyers. And he was an all-around great guy. And the first time that I got to meet Ray Brown, it was truly an honor to meet such a great guy and one of the greatest Philadelphia Flyers goaltenders of all time. And I considered him a good friend of mine because he always was. He always came up to me and said, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on? How's everything going?" He was always a great guy, and I'm happy that I got to know Murray Ferrant, and I'm happy I got to meet him. The day he passed away it was a hard day for all of us because honestly I feel like when Murray Ferrant passed away, I feel like we lost the heart and soul of this organization. And it was Murray Ferrant. He was truly the heart and soul of this organization. And it was a tough day for the city of Philadelphia, losing such a great goaltender like Murray Ferrant because he was a legend. He was he had determination, he had heart, and he had everything that symbolized a great goaltender for the city of Philadelphia. And I know it's been a long time. It's been like maybe a couple months or 5 months after he passed away. But it's still, I still want to pay tribute to one of my favorite Philadelphia Flyers. I didn't really get to see what he did back then, but I heard so many great stories from my father about Ray Brown, about how he was one of the best Philadelphia Flyers goaltenders of all time. I don't remember the last time we had a number one goaltender in Philadelphia. The last goaltender we had was Carter Hart. Way before that, it was Ron Hextall. And it could have been Ray Emery, but Right now, I feel like we haven't had much luck with goaltenders. Some of the best goaltenders we had were Carter Hart, Ron Hextall, Kelly Lindbergh, and Brian Ferrant. That's how I feel about that. I think they were certainly some of the best goaltenders that we have in Philadelphia. It's been a long time since we've had a number one netminder. Hopefully one day we'll have a number one goalie. And hopefully he has that same determination, that's the same heart as Brian Ferrant. And I know that we may not have a goaltender as good as Brian Ferrant. We have Kelly Lindbergh. He was going to be the second coming to Brian Ferrant, but unfortunately it didn't pan out that way. And I don't really want to get into that on here, out of respect for his family. But I'd just like to thank Brian Ferrant for all he's done for the city, all he's done for this fan base, and all he's contributed. And past all he's contributed in the glory days of the Philadelphia Flyers.